I've been a trucker for over 20 years and prided myself on knowing every road and highway like the back of my hand. One night I took a route I had never driven before, Route 666, a shortcut to my destination. As soon as I emerged onto the highway, an unsettling feeling settled in my stomach. The road was shrouded in fog, and the surrounding trees seemed to close in on me. I turned up the radio to drown out my nerves, but it only played static. I switched it off, leaving me in silence except for the hum of the engine and the occasional creak of the trailer. Miles passed, and my eyes grew heavy. I noticed a rest stop sign and decided to pull over for a quick nap. The rest stop was eerily deserted, and the only light came from a flickering street lamp. As I dozed off, a loud bang jolted me awake. I looked around but saw nothing. "Must been a dream," I muttered, settling back down. Then another bang, louder this time. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out of the truck. I shone the light around, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. Suddenly I heard a faint whispering, as if multiple voices were trying to speak all at once. I swung the flashlight towards the sound, revealing a shadowy figure standing at the edge of the light's reach. "Who's there?" I called out, but the figure didn't respond. It just stood there, its shape barely discernible in the gloom. My heart pounded as I approached it, but when I got close, the figure vanished and the whispering stopped. Shaken, I decided to leave the rest stop. I got back into my truck and continued down Route 666, but the feeling of being watched lingered. As I drove, I saw figures standing on the side of the road, all shrouded in shadow. They didn't move, they just watched me pass. My grip on the wheel tightened. I tried to keep my focus on the road, but the figures were everywhere, growing closer with each mile. The fog thickened, and the road became more treacherous. My headlights barely cut through the mist, and I had to slow down. Suddenly, a figure darted across the road, and I swerved to avoid it, nearly jackknifing my truck. Breathing heavily, I stopped the truck and peered into the darkness, but saw nothing. My hands trembled as I restarted the engine and continued driving. The whispering returned, louder and more insistent. I turned on the radio to drown it out, but it only added to the chaos, blaring out a distorted version of a country song. Then the truck's engine started to sputter. "Not now, come on," I pleaded, but the truck slowed to a crawl before stopping completely. I checked the fuel gauge, it was full. I stepped out to inspect the engine, but everything seemed fine. The whispering grew louder, and I realized it was coming from inside the truck. I climbed back into the cab and saw a shadowy figure sitting in the passenger's seat. It slowly turned to face me, revealing hollow eyes and a chilling smile. "You shouldn't have come here," it whispered. I scrambled out of the truck and ran down the road. The fog swallowed me, and I felt cold hands grasping at me from the darkness. I stumbled and fell, feeling the weight of the unseen figures pressing down on me. The next morning, my truck was found abandoned on Route 666 with no sign of me anywhere. The locals whispered about the haunted highway, telling tales of the countless truckers who had disappeared without a trace. I became just another story, a warning to those who dared to travel Route 666 at night. Have you ever driven on a road that gave you chills? Tell us your scariest driving experience in the comments.